Why the Dutch demolished their own flood defenses. For 1,000 years, the Dutch have lived by one simple, unbreakable rule: build the dikes higher. It is the defining characteristic of the Netherlands, country where a quarter of the land sits below sea level, and where half the population lives in areas that would flood without constant human intervention. When the water rises, you raise the wall. It is a strategy that created one of the safest, most prosperous nations on Earth. But in 1995, that entire philosophy almost collapsed in spectacular fashion. That year, the Rhine and Meuse rivers swelled to record levels, fueled by massive rainfall across Central Europe and rapidly melting snow from the Alps. The water pressed against the earthen dikes with terrifying force. Engineers monitoring the dike walls reported that the ground was literally trembling under the pressure. The government ordered an immediate evacuation. 200,000 people were forced to flee their homes, alongside hundreds of thousands of livestock, in the largest peacetime evacuation in Dutch history since the Second World War. Highways were jammed for miles. Families packed whatever they could carry into cars and trailers, convinced they would return to find their homes underwater. In the end, the dikes held, barely. But the near disaster sent shock waves through the entire country. It forced Dutch engineers and politicians to confront a terrifying truth that had been building for centuries. Every single time they had raised a dike, they had squeezed the river into a narrower channel. The river had less room to spread out, so the water level rose higher and faster during floods. They had been making the problem worse with every solution. They realized, with growing horror, that you cannot keep building higher forever. Eventually, the water wins. So the Dutch government made a radical, almost unthinkable decision. They decided to stop fighting the water. Instead of building the dikes higher, they were going to tear some of them down, move others backward, and give the rivers back their ancient floodplains. They called it Room for the River. It was a staggering 2.3 billion euros gamble that would require demolishing homes, deliberately flooding farms, and completely rewriting 1,000 years of Dutch water management philosophy. And it changed the world forever. To understand why this was so revolutionary, you need to understand how the Dutch relationship with water actually works. The Netherlands is in many ways a country that should not exist. It was built by hand over centuries, by pumping water out of low-lying marshes and building dikes around the edges. Every polder, every flat green field you see was once a lake or a swamp. The Dutch didn't just live with the water. They fought it, drained it, and pushed it back. The traditional approach was always the same. When a flood threatens, build the dike higher. It worked for centuries. But the Room for the River program represented a complete philosophical reversal. Instead of asking, how do we keep the water out? The engineers started asking a completely different question. What if we let the water in, but on our own terms, in places we choose? This is the core idea. Instead of forcing the river into a narrow, constrained channel and hoping the walls hold, you give the river designated spaces to overflow safely, floodplains, bypass channels, and storage polders, so that the pressure never builds to a dangerous level in the first place. It sounds simple, but convincing a nation of people who had spent 1,000 years building walls to deliberately tear those walls down was one of the greatest political and social challenges in Dutch history. To understand just how radical this idea was in practice, you have to look at Nijmegen, the oldest city in the Netherlands. Founded by the Romans over 2,000 years ago, Nijmegen sits on the banks of the Waal River. But right at the city center, the river takes a sharp turn and narrows dangerously. For centuries, this bottleneck was a ticking time bomb. During the 1995 floods, the water here rose to within centimeters of the top of the dike. The traditional engineering solution would be obvious: build a massive concrete flood wall right through the historic city center. Instead, the Dutch did the exact opposite. They looked across the river to the town of Lent, and they made a decision that shocked the local residents. They were going to move the dike 350 meters inland. They literally surrendered their own territory to the river. Then they dug a massive 4.5-kilometer bypass channel right through the newly surrendered land. The project cost approximately 350 million euros and took years of construction. When the river floods now, the excess water doesn't pile up against the city walls. It simply flows into the new channel, safely bypassing the city entirely. This single project lowered the flood level by 34 centimeters, which might not sound like much, but in flood engineering, it is the difference between a dry city and a catastrophic disaster affecting hundreds of thousands of people. But the real genius wasn't just the flood protection. By digging the channel, they created a brand new island in the middle of the river. Today, that island, Veur-Lent, a thriving urban park with sandy beaches, restaurants, cycling paths, and wildlife. Property values in the area went up, not down. They didn't just build a flood defense, they built a masterpiece of urban design that won the prestigious Rosa Barba International Landscape Prize in 2016. But giving room to the river meant taking room from the people. And nowhere was this more dramatic or more emotionally charged than in the Overdiep's polder near the city of Den Bosch. To protect 140,000 city residents downstream, engineers needed to turn this massive agricultural polder into a deliberate flood storage zone. That meant the 16 dairy farming families living there, whose ancestors had worked the same land for generations, had to leave. The government offered to buy them out at fair market value. But the farmers refused to simply walk away. Instead, they proposed a radical alternative that stopped the engineers in their tracks. They looked back 2,000 years into Dutch history to a time before dikes even existed, when the ancient Dutch lived on artificial hills called turpen, dwelling mounds built by hand above the floodplain. The farmers asked the government, "What if you don't move us out? What if instead you rebuild our farms on giant modern turpen right in the middle of the flood zone?" The government agreed to the experiment. 8 farmers chose to stay. Their original homes and massive dairy barns were completely demolished and rebuilt from scratch on top of artificial mounds, 6 meters above the surrounding floodplain. Each mound is connected to the outside world by a raised access road that stays above the floodwater. The farms are fully modern, new buildings, new equipment, new infrastructure, but sitting on platforms that echo a way of life that is 2,000 years old. Today, when the Bergische Maas River reaches critical levels, the inlet gates are deliberately open, and the entire polder floods. Millions of liters of water rush in, turning the landscape into a vast, shallow lake. But the farms sit perfectly safe on their islands, the cows continuing to graze above the waterline, while the city of Den Bosch downstream is saved from disaster. It is a breathtaking fusion of ancient history and modern engineering, and a powerful reminder that sometimes the best solutions are the ones that have already been tested by 2,000 years of human experience. The Room for the River program didn't stop at Nijmegen and Den Bosch. Across the country, 34 separate projects were carried out along 4 rivers. One of the most elegant was along the IJssel River, where engineers built the Wiesenwapenveld bypass, a channel that is completely dry most of the year. During normal conditions, it is a stunning nature reserve, grasslands, wetlands, and wildlife habitat where people walk their dogs and ride their bikes. Herons and otters have moved in, but during extreme flood events, massive inlet gates open and the Green River transforms into an actual river, diverting huge volumes of water away from populated areas downstream. It is a perfect example of what the Dutch call building with nature. Instead of relying solely on concrete and steel, you use the river's own natural systems, floodplains, wetlands, and bypass channels to absorb and slow the floodwater. The infrastructure pays for itself twice over, once as a flood defense and once as a public park. In total, the Room for the River program executed 34 massive projects across the Netherlands between 2006 and 2019. They lowered floodplains, dug green bypass channels, removed obstacles from riverbeds, relocated dikes, and demolished and rebuilt homes and farms. They spent 2.3 billion euros in 15 years completely re-engineering the Dutch landscape. The results have been nothing short of extraordinary. The Rhine branches can now safely handle a staggering 16,000 cubic meters per second, a figure that would have been unthinkable before the program. 4 million people are safer than they have ever been in recorded history. And as a bonus, the program created 24,000 hectares of new nature reserves, wetlands, and recreational areas. Property values along the rivers didn't crash as many had feared. They increased because people wanted to live next to the beautiful new landscapes. Today, the world is watching. As climate change brings more extreme weather, heavier rainfall, and rising sea levels, the old strategy of just building higher walls is failing globally. Engineers from all over the world are now traveling to the Netherlands to study this exact model. Bangladesh is studying it for the Brahmaputra River Delta. Vietnam is applying it to the Mekong Delta. The United Kingdom's Thames Estuary 2100 plan draws heavily on Dutch room for the river principles. And the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has specifically studied it as a model for managing the Mississippi River and rebuilding flood-prone communities in Louisiana. The Dutch proved that the best way to control nature isn't to fight it. The best way to control nature is to give it room to breathe. 1,000 years of building walls nearly ended in disaster. 15 years of tearing them down created one of the most celebrated engineering programs in human history. If you want to see how the Dutch are applying this same philosophy to the ocean, check out our video on the incredible offshore seaweed farm, where they are literally farming the sea floor. Or if you want to know how they built roads out of recycled plastic, our plastic road video is linked on screen right now. Do not forget to subscribe to Blueprint Files for more stories of Dutch engineering genius, and we will see you in the next one.